Hey guys, what up? Welcome to the Django tutorial series. And in this project, what we're going to do is try to build a music website. I am going to use PyCharm for an editor, and I suggest you use the same. You don't have to, but whatever project you want to set this up under, if you're going to be following along, you need to have a virtual environment set up within Python, so your Django installation and any sort of additional modules and things that the application is going to require will be all contained in that inside that virtual environment. The reason why I recommend PyCharm is it actually does a lot of that crap for us out of the box when we just set up a new project here. And I'm going to go ahead and pick a folder, and you need to do the same about where this thing is going to live. And we'll call this thing, I'm going to call it new music. I already have a music application there, and we just want to go ahead and select that it is a Django project. We're going to be using Python 2.7. I want to use Python 3 version, but Django is still not quite there as far as the libraries and things that we may need in the near future. So I'll go ahead and add that as an interpreter and just select OK. Alright, and now the application's name is going to just be called My Project. In fact, I want that lowercase, My Project. And we'll go ahead and enable the Django admin. Alright, so this is going to go through and set up a new installation. Assuming you don't have PyCharm, you don't want to go this route. Really, as far as the Django documentation, you'll need to get this online. The aim at this particular tutorial series is not going to be to really explain how to set up Django, so hopefully you can get that set up and we can go from there. So another good thing about PyCharm here is that it's really built for Django. So you can see new music is the name of our project, and then we have a first module named My Project. Really, that's kind of stupid. Yeah, it's kind of stupid looking, but we can deal with that. And one of the good things is that we can just simply run it, and it'll start an actual Django development server. So when I clicked run, you can see that it's now running down here at this URL location. So let's go ahead and navigate to that. Alright, and you should see this page. Now if you go the separate route, you just have to install Django yourself. Like I said, preferably you want to put that into a virtual environment. So look to install that, and then as long as you get that Django help page, we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and review a few things. With my application here, I want to use MySQL as the database. So first things first, let's go ahead and change this backend, and we're going to say .mysql. In order for MySQL to work, in fact, I'm not going to do any of this. This is the first application I've actually developed using PyCharm, and honestly, it's been years since I've even set up a Django project. Even though I run several Django projects, I kind of borrow off of the previous one as far as the installation. And this is a Windows setup that I have going on here, and normally in production I have Linux. And just to make sure you guys do know that I do have some idea of what I'm talking about. One of the sites that I own and run for Django is newmovies.com. It's been around for a couple of years now. It gets decent traffic, but you see here it's pretty modern looking. It's even responsive from a CSS standpoint. So it's a decent looking website, and it's built in Django. So I do know Django development. I just some of these initial setup things can be a little bit of a problem. Name is going to be the name of the actual database on our MySQL setup, and we're going to call this we'll call it just new movie. let's go ahead and specify a user. And the user is going to be root. And then a password. So I think that is my setup for my local MySQL server. Now you do need to go ahead and install MySQL if you plan on using that. I already have it installed, so I want to go ahead and actually run it. Alright, so you want to make sure your MySQL server is running after you install it. And if you're using like Windows 8 or 8.1, or really any Windows, you should see this MySQL command line client, and you can just click on that, and all you have to do is enter the password that you set up. I set up a password testing123 just for our testing purposes. So make sure you can log in there. And we're going to go ahead and create the database new movie, otherwise it would throw an error message. So we'll say create database. And now you can say use new movie. And I don't know why I'm calling it movie. That's really stupid because it's a music website. I get that confused because I do run the movies website all the time. So let's go ahead and use another command. This is a SQL command to drop the database new movie that we just created. Use that semicolon, so now we removed it. And it's going to be called a new music. So we'll say create database new music. Let's go ahead and put that there. Now, with our new Django setup here, let's go ahead and open up a command prompt and navigate to where we installed our application. And I put it under projects. Alright, so there's my manage.py. And that's going to be something that you use a lot in Django. And you can see here that the name of our first app is this my project, and then we have a templates directory, and then the new music, which is the application name. So let's go ahead and we're going to run syncdb for the first time. And what that does is it creates a super user inside your Django setup, so that way your super user can control all of the other users and everything on your system. So we do that by saying python manage.py syncdb. Alright, so what it's going to go through, and do a lot of built-in Django work for creating these authorization groups and things. And that's really a lot of work that is done out of the box for you in Django. So that way your users can log into your site. You can set specifically what permissions those users can do, what they can see, what they can erase or add, and things like that. So when you do this for the first time, though, and it creates all these tables, it asks you to build a super user, so you want to type yes to do that. I'm going to go ahead and just say admin is the name. You can put in an email address if you want. Here's my email address, which is noobniche@gmail.com. You guys feel free to email me if you have any questions. And let's go ahead and create our password. So I want to actually do test123. Test123, and now it created our super user. So when we go ahead and we run Django, I'm going to go ahead and start this server down here. And so it's successfully running. Now we want to go /admin. And if everything works correctly, you should see this Django admin, and we can go ahead and log in admin and then test123. And now you can see that we actually have access to this back-end administration system that just works out of the box with Django. And it's been this way for, since it's been around, and it's one of the biggest selling points with Django that you don't have to actually write this yourself. So it's really nice. So if you want to add another user, like your friend or whatever, you can set up their username and password for them. And then you can, once you have that person, you can then assign what permissions they're allowed to do by, you can see over here, like if you have different modules and things installed, you can say that they can add or change or delete the different items that you have. So we'll get more into that later, but now we have the Django application up and running. Let's go ahead and take a look at this first module that got created for me out of the, by setting up through PyCharm. I wasn't expecting that because, like I said, this is the first app I've ever created with PyCharm, and I didn't think it was going to do that. So it created this My Project app, which included like the admin and all that stuff. I actually don't want this crap at all, so I'm going to delete the entire thing. Alright, so let's go ahead and in our new music directory here, this is actually kind of small. Unfortunately, I don't know how to zoom in on this, which really sucks. Yeah, let me see if I can zoom in on that. Anyway, that's some bullcrap. I can't change the font size over here. It's going to be small as hell, so hopefully you guys can read that. I can change this font size, no problem. But they should definitely do something about that. If you have any idea on how to do that, please email me or leave a comment. I appreciate it. Anyway, so let's go over to our URLs here. And we want to actually uncomment this first line, which is going to be the default index page. Right now it shows the helpful Django, Django welcome message. And I want to go ahead and just say, instead of home, I want to say index. I just kind of, in fact, I'll keep it home. If they want me to say home, I'll keep it home. And under the new music, we're going to create a new Python file. And we're going to call it views.py. I don't know what that shit's all about. And some of the stuff it does, it is kind of weird. Alright, so first things first, we want to import a few things that we're going to need. We're going to say from Django.shortcuts, import render to response, and then from Django.template, import request context. Right now, let's go ahead and define our index method. So the way Django works is that your URLs it's a virtual URL. So when the URL is requested, Django says, okay, what URL was requested, which view is supposed to handle it, and then which view method specifically. So the view method and the URLs here, the view, so it's new music, and then the views.py file, and then the name of the method within the views.py file. So we're going to go ahead and define that method down by saying define home. And every method in Django always takes a request in, which is who's actually requesting the information. And the request will actually store information like the IP address of the person that requested this page and things like that. So that is always inside the request object. And we're simply going to say return render to response. And then inside the open and close parenthesis, we need to go ahead and give the location to where the templates are going to be stored. So we'll just say home.html. And then we want to say request context. And then inside open and close parenthesis, we're going to say request. Alright, so let's go ahead and run our application. Oh, okay, we got an error message because we deleted my project. So what we need to do is anytime you have an app, and my project was technically an app, not the project. The project itself is new music, and the app was my project that we got rid of. So you see that it's not being found inside our installed apps because it no longer exists, so we need to remove that. And we should be able to run this now. Alright, so now we're getting a view does not exist. So let me see the best way to handle this. I really don't even need this name here. And get rid of the comment as well. I don't want that. I want to keep this as clean as possible. The reason why it doesn't exist is I actually have homes. You want to have this under lowercase. Alright, now it's saying request is not defined, which is a new error. Did I capitalize that? Yeah, it's capitalized. It's stupid. Okay, sorry about that. So as you can see, things are case sensitive. Now it's saying the template does not exist. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we need to do. And this can actually trip up a lot of new Django users. In our settings, we have a template location. When my project was created, it actually created a template directory for me, but the template's obviously not being found, and it doesn't exist anyway. So in our view, you see that we're referencing a home.html. We need to add home.html to our template. So let's just add a straight HTML file, and we'll call it home. And we'll just call this our home. Alright, so the template is now there in the home directory, but it's still saying it doesn't exist because it doesn't know where to look for it. And it actually says, it'll tell you here where it looked. It said template loader post mortem, and it says it tried to find the templates and all of this crap, but none of it existed. So it's actually looking in the Python installation itself for the template. So we need to tell it to look somewhere else for the template. So in order to fix that problem, we need to go to our application, and you want to make sure at the top of your settings file that import OS should be already done, which is operating system. It's a standard Python module. It's been around for a long time. And we want to identify to our Django project where the templates directory exists, because right now it doesn't know. So let's go ahead and say project path, and we want this all uppercase to keep with the convention of everything else here. And we're going to say project path equals os dot path dot real path, and then we'll say os dot path dot directory name, and then 2 underscores file followed by another 2 underscores. Now let's go ahead and define our template directory. So let's say template dirs equals, and this is a Python tuple, and we're going to say project path, which we just identified, plus / under all lowercase templates, and another /. And make sure you have the comma there. It will mess up if you don't have that comma, so make sure that comma is there. And now that we've done that, what we're saying here is that get the project path, which is actually the new music directory, and then look for the templates folder inside of there. And if you look at the actual folder structure that we have of our application, you'll see templates is not in new music. So my editor automatically set it up this way, and in order for this to work, we need to actually take our template directory and drag it into the new music directory. So templates and our static folders and stuff will be inside of that new music directory. Alright, once you do that, you should be able to request the page again if the server's still running, and now you'll see our home is being found. Alright guys, so we're making good progress on this tutorial series with Django. And the next one, we're going to go ahead and bring in Bootstrap and all that crap. to make developing our UI a lot easier. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Bye.